Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. Today I want to give you another sneak peek of my comprehensive Lightroom training course that I've been working on. Today I'm going to share with you the actual video that is in the course for the Transform tab in Lightroom Classic. Those of you not familiar with my course, over the past several months, it seems like several years, I've been working on a comprehensive Lightroom Classic course that covers everything in Lightroom. And when I say everything, I mean everything. All the controls, all the tools, and all of the modules in Lightroom. Hours and hours of training, over 50 videos. I haven't counted all of them yet. And you'll get PDF outlines of each videos, and you'll get all the files, all the raw files that I use in the videos so you could work along at home. I hope to release this very soon. I'm still working on it. But until I do, I thought I'd give you this sneak peek preview. Now, the course will sell for $99, and those of you that subscribe to my newsletter will get early access to the course and be able to get a discount on the course. If you don't already subscribe to my newsletter, I'll have a link to it in the description below this video. So without further ado, here is the Transform tab that is found in the Develop module of Lightroom Classic. In this video, we're going to learn how to use the Transform panel in Lightroom Classic. Architectural and real estate photographers often have to use the tools and controls found in the Transform panel, but really, all of us will if we have photos of buildings or of rooms, because we want to make sure our lines are straight and our corners are square. Now, at first glance, the Transform panel may look to be a bit intimidating, but actually, it's very easy to use. For this demonstration, we're going to use two different images. Of course, you could download these images and work along at home. This first image, it may look like I was a bit inebriated when I took this photo, but I wasn't. I was just careless. As you can see, it's very crooked, so we need to straighten it. Also, if you look closely, you'll notice that the top of the building looks like it's falling backwards. That's because I shot this wide. I used a Nikon 24-70 f/2.8 lens, and I shot it at 32 millimeters. Often if you shoot wide and you tilt your camera up, as I did here, you'll have anything towards the top of the frame, in this case the top of the building, look like it's falling backwards. So we need to fix that as well. Now, what I would do is I would go to the Transform tool, and the first thing I would do is I would click this Auto button. You see we have these kind of preset buttons here. Just click Auto, and you can see it actually fixed it. But it doesn't always fix it perfectly. Have you ever noticed in Lightroom if you hover over some things, sometimes some helpful information will pop up? It's called a tooltip. If I hover over Auto, you see we got a tooltip, and it says Enable Balance Level, Aspect Ratio, and Perspective Corrections. What this means, it tries to fix everything and balance everything out so it looks as good as it can without having you lose a ton of pixels or cut things away because you lost those pixels that are important to the image. So in this case, this is a balanced transformation of the image and it looks pretty good. Well, what if that's not good enough? What if you just need it absolutely perfectly upright? You just, really need it upright. And it needed straight, and this isn't good enough. Well, let's reset this. I'll click the reset button. What you could do is go to this preset button, full. When you click on that, it will make it perfectly square, perfectly upright, as though you used a tilt shift lens when you took the image. But you'll notice there's a lot of pixels that were missing on the sides. So what you'll have to do is click on Constrain Crop. Now, it is perfectly square, it's perfectly straight, but the entire bottom of the image is gone, and it really is probably unusable. So what you could do then is you could try to do it manually. To do it manually, you would use either these other two buttons, level and vertical, or the sliders. And I'll get to guided in a moment. We're going to use the second image for guided. Now, you could try level. Just click on that, and it straightens it. And hey, that might be good enough. You don't care if it falls backwards. You just wanted it straight. Now you could go on and just process it and send it out to the world. But you may want it so it's not falling backwards, so you could click vertical as well. And we got these blank pixels again. We'll click on that, and we're right back where we were when we clicked on full. So That's not good enough still. So let's reset this again. Well, let's try to move the sliders ourselves. What I like to do is straighten it first. You notice when I hover over the sliders, we get this tight grid pattern. The tight grid pattern helps, specifically and particularly if you're straightening it. I'll go to rotate and just click on the slider and move it. And you can see I'm starting to rotate it. And what I'm looking at is specifically this little strip of cement right here. I'm assuming that should be perfectly horizontal. And it looks like that there is a horizontal line or grid line that falls right on that. So I just make sure that that is as straight as I can make it. That looks okay, I guess. So that's pretty good. The other thing I noticed when I hover over there, the exact middle of the image is just to the, my left or our left of the peak of the building. I'd like that peak of the building right on it. So what I want to do is go to X offset. You'll notice if I move that, I could slide it left or right. So I want to just move it so that peak of the building is as close to there right as I want it. So right there. Now I need to fix that problem of it falling backwards. I'll do that with this vertical slider. If I move it to the right, I'll just push it back more. So I need to move it to left. So I'm going to compromise here. I could try to make it as totally square, but you can see how I'll start to lose those pixels at the bottom. Let's do that anyway. Let's try to make it so I'm right at the top of the chimney, and then I'll click Constrain Crop. And there's my doing it manually, and that's okay too, I guess. So that's another way you could do it. So you could do the sliders. Now let's take a look at some of the sliders I didn't touch upon. The horizontal slider will kind of twist it. See how that works? We did rotate. Aspect will squish it in or smush it out. Scale will pull it in or push it away. X offset we talked about. Oops, didn't want to do that. Let me reset everything. Let's just go to auto. X offset, we talked about that. That goes left and right. And Y offset, as you probably guessed, goes up and down. So those are the sliders. So between a button, a combination of buttons, combination of button and sliders, or sliders all by themselves, you should be able to get an image that looks perfect, or at least good enough. In this case, auto. But I didn't talk about this guided at all. Let's talk about that, and let's use this image for that. This is an image of an old project building that they're going to be tearing down. And I shot it on film, actually. And you can see how it looks like it's falling backwards, like real bad. So what we could do is we could use guided. And when you use guided, you're going to use this tool right here. The two different ways to activate the tool is to just click on the guided button, and then your cursor becomes the tool, or just click on the tool itself, and then you see the guide button goes in automatically. So just a couple different ways. Now you see there's a little loop there. That loop is very useful. It's just a magnifier loop. If you don't see it, go down to the toolbar. The toolbar is this little strip of real estate that's above the film strip. If you don't see it, hit the T key on your keyboard. The T key makes the toolbar go away and reappear. Go there and make sure that show loop is checked so that you see the loop. Now, what I want to do is draw two parallel lines that are vertical. So I need to find something in the image that I know is perfectly vertical, and two things actually that are perfectly vertical that are parallel to one another. Now, these kind of I think they're covers for power wires are here, but I'm not sure those are perfectly vertical. Those might not be perfectly vertical, but probably this door frame should be. So what I'm going to do, and I should say, it's best if you have a long run. So if you go if you had something that went from the very top all the way to the very bottom, two of those that are parallel to one another, that would work best. But if you don't have that, just go for the longest thing you have. It could be this door. It might be this up here, this kind of cement framing around the boarded up windows. Let's do that. So we'll go here. We just look to see, we can see our magnifier, click with the left mouse button and hold. Then we get this line, go down to the other extreme end, which is right there, and let go. All right, now we have one line. Nothing happened. Now we'll go to the other line that is parallel to that line. Click with left mouse button, come down to the extreme other end, and let go. And you can see that it became more upright. Well, let's now do two more horizontal lines that should be parallel to one another. It's going to be tough, but I would say that the windows should be parallel to one another. So I'm going to go up to this upper frame area, like here, click, hold the left mouse button in, go to the other end, and make sure that it's perfectly in this right spot. And I'll go down here. I could go maybe to the bottom. It's better too if they're separated from one another as much as possible. Click, come to this other end, click, and you can see how it's straightened out. Now we'll put the tool away, and there is a perfectly now straightened and upright image. There is before, and there is after. There's before, and there's after. And that's how you use the guided upright tool. So you can see you could really manipulate the image quite a bit with the tools and controls found in the transform panel. And again, it may look to be a little bit intimidating, but it's actually relatively easy to use. And most often auto will get you fine. Let's reset this. And let's just click auto. You can see auto, it's kind of a compromise. It might still be falling backwards a little bit. In that case, you may instead want to use full, but I use guided and got a good result as well. So that's it. That's the transform panel in Lightroom Classic.